Hello, hello. We have been on camera for a few seconds. Sorry for the technical issues here, but we are now live both on Facebook and on YouTube as usual. And it's Friday again. Welcome to Friday Lunch. We have our special guest this week. It's Aaron Cox.
Hi, everyone.
Bonjour à tous. Hi Cox. Hi everyone. Hi Aaron. Sorry, I'm
Thank
also
you.
being. I'm also in a semi. Well, it's just my brain's mixed up today. That's okay.
I hear you. It happens all the time.
Yeah. Okay. It happens a bit more often than I wish, but okay.
Yeah.
So, why is Aaron with us? I was one day I was going through all our YouTube videos, and I was sort of, I don't know if you guys do this, just sort of Google ourselves, and and I fell upon this little video that said, a review of LangFest 2018 or something along those lines, and
Yeah.
so, well, I've never seen this one, and up comes Aaron, one of our participants at the past event, and I went through the whole video, and I thought it was really nice. So then I contacted Aaron, found out he's got his own channel, and he's a very avid language learner and also a YouTuber. So we thought, why not have Aaron on our show? To thank him for the nice review, and also get to know him better, and introduce him to our crowd. So
Yeah, and I think the Langfest video, the review video is something really to watch because it's quite an adventure that that you're telling there. I mean, it's I
Yeah.
think you're one of the most adventurous participants, at least in
Bro,
the
yeah.
last year. So, I mean, and also there's an Esperanto video that you have on there. I saw.
Yeah. I have an
But
Esperanto
that's also
channel.
that's right.
other
Yeah.
Esperanto learners. I was interested. Mi parolas Esperanton do mi spektis la videaĵon.
Ah, tre bone. Mi lernas Esperanton, sed mi ne parolas bone.
Sed oni komprenas vin bone.
Ah, perfekte.
All right, so yeah, I was just saying it
Saluton.
was interesting. I was interested to watch the Esperanto video.
Yeah.
He was just saying he wasn't very good at it, but actually, I think how long you've been learning because you're very understandable. So that's
Oh, well, mainly I've been using Duolingo to learn Esperanto, but also I use my Esperanto channel as a method for learning Esperanto.
yeah.
Well, I think many people do that. Eh? They sort of start a blog, to sort of to record their own progress. It's sort of a
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
diary kind of thing that they do for themselves, and hey, before you know it, they're like a super blogger or super YouTuber.
Oh man, and
And
it's so useful going on and just spitting out all these words in Esperanto and trying to be understood, and all the other Esperantists come on and they tell me all the errors that I make, and they're really encouraging, and just really helpful in learning Esperanto. So it's been great.
well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
We have this live every week. Sometimes we have past speakers. Sometimes we have prospective or future speakers. Sometimes we have just language experts. Sometimes it's other organizers. Like last week, we had the polyglot gathering organizers. We've had our polyglot conference organizers also, and every once in a while we would have participants come on also. So it's we have a nice mix of people and try to reach a wide range of audience. And we're very happy to have you on. So first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself, Aaron. You and your life with languages. What do you do? What kind of
Yeah.
what are you aiming for in terms of language?
Well, I'm a student right now at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and I'm studying linguistics, also minoring in Spanish and in French. So I just love languages. I kind of developed this love for languages probably about 4 years ago now, 2015, when I started learning Spanish for real. And then, man, I just started getting really involved in watching YouTube videos and learning about all the different resources out there and the best practices for learning languages, and
So when
really
did
got me
all this
motivated.
start? I mean, were you a monolingual before all this started, or?
Yeah, I mean, I had taken Spanish classes in high school, like 99% of Americans. But I don't know, you know how that goes. You take a class and it doesn't really help that much. You know, you learn how to say hola, como estás, and then most people just
with that accent too.
Right. And so then I graduated from high school and I did 1 year of college, but I wasn't really enjoying that. So I was just working for like 5 or 6 years, and I started learning Spanish for real, and that got me so motivated to go back to college again and start studying linguistics. And now I love it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, do you have a topic of particular interest, a subfield of linguistics that you particularly enjoy?
Well, I'm right now I'm getting a bachelor's degree in linguistics with a certificate in teaching English as a second language. And then after I get my undergrad, I think I'm going to go back again and keep working towards working in second language acquisition, or SLA.
Okay, so language acquisition.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good.
So
that's good.
So are you more interested in learning languages to speak to other people, or more the academic aspects of languages, including linguistics and all the theory behind language acquisition and whatnot?
Well, at this point in my life, I am mostly interested in learning languages for myself and helping other people learn languages. I also I do private tutoring, so helping other people, learn how to learn languages. But I am going to keep going back to school, and I think eventually I would like to start getting into more academic areas, doing research on, the psychology of language acquisition.
Well, good for you. So now you have Spanish and Esperanto and anything else?
French, you said?
French? Right?
French, yeah, I would say my French is kind of intermediate. I'm fluent in Spanish.
Okay.
I travel to Montreal as often as I can because it's the closest French-speaking area to me.
That's good. So I know you were at LangFest 2018. Was this the first time, or?
That was my first time at an actual LangFest. Actually, the reason I found out about LangFest is I found on couch surfing when I was in Montreal last January, and it was some event for like a language meetup or something like that.
All right.
I just showed up at this cafe, and I think Joey was there and maybe one or two other people.
Really?
And we just practiced languages for an hour or two.
Okay.
And
this is not Mundolingo. This is a meetup.
Yeah. That was I found it through couchsurfing.
Yeah, well, yeah, you remember, I think at that time of year, last year, Joey was doing meetups at a cafe near his home.
Yeah, that was it.
On Saturday mornings, something like that.
Yep, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah. He did that for a little while, so that's.
But what were you doing in Montreal to begin with? I mean, you didn't come
like I said, I travel to Montreal as often as I can just because I want to practice my French. And I've met couch surfing hosts in Montreal that have been super nice, and now we're really close friends. So I go back to visit.
That's cool.
Have you been back since the last LangFest?
Nope. I'm planning on going back maybe in March or April.
Okay. And when you come back, I mean, do you fly? Do you take a bus? You took a bus. Didn't you talk about that?
I usually take a Greyhound.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's right.
That was your adventure, right? I mean, the story was how to get to Montreal and everything that you went through there.
Well, I tell you what, I'm a poor college student. I don't have a job. So I'm really tight on money, but I love to travel, and I do it any way I can.
Wow.
One time I hitchhiked.
Found a way.
Yeah. I hitchhiked all the way to Montreal.
Are you serious?
Yeah, in the summer. Yep. That was a lot of fun.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. It definitely shows, I guess, your dedication, because to Montreal, to LangFest, I mean, few people could say they've actually taken the road that way, and with all the uncertainty, and you don't know how long it's going to last, and
Right.
if you're on a tight budget, you also need to plan your meals and and everything, and that's wow.
Well, I'm still young and I'm single, so I figure I want to do as much traveling and get as many experiences out of life as I can.
Well, good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Language is definitely one way to open up your horizons, open up your mind. It brings you places. Have you been elsewhere outside of North America?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I love to travel.
Okay.
I think I was counting it up the other day. I think I've been to like 23 or 24 different countries or something.
Yeah, pretty well traveled.
Yeah, I mean, I love it.
Like Europe, South America.
Yeah, I've been to most countries in Central America.
Okay.
And then Colombia, Ecuador, Uruguay, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 countries in Europe. I was in the Marine Corps, the U.S. Marine Corps, so I was stationed in Djibouti and went to Afghanistan as well. So every continent so far except for Antarctica and Australia.
Okay.
Oh, so you've been to Asia, you've been to Australia.
Yeah. Or no, not Australia. I haven't been to Australia.
Okay. Whereabouts in Asia? Have you been to Japan and Taiwan?
No, I've only been to Kyrgyzstan and Afghanistan when I was in the military.
Oh, okay. That part of Asia, but not the Far East.
No, yeah, not yet. Although I'm now planning, I'm thinking about going to Thailand.
Thailand, okay.
Yeah.
Why Thailand?
I have a sister that lives there. She's teaching English.
There you go. That's a good reason. There's also the polyglot conference going on in Japan in October.
Oh.
I don't know if you know
Oh,
about that.
cool.
I mean,
cool.
Do you know about the other big language conferences, like polyglot?
Yeah, I've seen
gathering.
like some videos and stuff on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I would love to go to some of those someday. Yeah.
Well, definitely. I mean, we all, all the top 3, I guess. This type of language conference or gathering are the polyglot conference, which was the first one that began this whole movement, and then you've got the polyglot gathering. Both polyglot conference and gathering, they're mainly based in Europe, although this year polyglot conference came out went far east to Fukuoka, Japan. So that they're doing that in October. They were in New York in 2015. That's where myself, Nicolas, and Joey, we all went to that.
Yeah.
Which
not where we met there, but
no, we didn't meet, but that's where we got, I got stung by the language bug, or the language event bug.
Sure.
And we thought we'd do something local in North America. We had a poll. A group of participants got together. We said, "Well, let's have a regional thing, until the next time Polyglot Conference comes over to North America." And we did a little survey to see which city we should hold that in, and Montreal turned out to be, by far the main choice.
Well, yeah, and Montreal just makes sense. Yeah.
So a few of us got together, and so that was Joey, myself, and Nicolas. We started something that we thought would be just a little local gathering, but it turned out to be bigger than life. And before you know it, we're going into our fourth edition this year.
That's great. Yeah.
It's fun to have our event in North America, and we're in close contact with the other folks at Polyglot Conference and Polyglot Gathering. We featured them last week, since Polyglot Gathering is the one that really kicks off the language season, I guess.
Yeah, in the spring.
At the end of May, they start. They have their Polyglot Gathering in Bratislava. Then we take over the second segment at the end of August, and then Polyglot Conference closes the year every year in somewhere different every year. And this year we'll be in Fukuoka.
Well, yeah, I thought it was great having something here in North America, because I wouldn't really be able to fly to Europe for a weekend or something, you know.
Yeah, well, many people have that issue, so that's
Yeah,
why I think
so that's
it fills a
precisely,
gap.
why we thought we should have one here.
Right.
Although you probably understand that, North America, I mean, other than Quebec, is mostly a monolingual
Right.
country or
Yeah.
area. So
Yeah.
so we definitely don't have quite as much how to say attention as a polyglot
Sure.
event in Europe, where most people speak at least 2-3 languages.
Right. I was just
easily.
talking to my friends today, just this morning, about how I was in France last summer. I spent July in France, and one weekend I went up to Belgium for the weekend, and then one day when I was in Belgium, I stopped in the Netherlands for lunch, and went back to Belgium again. So it was like, you're just going to all these different countries,
Yeah.
and
Well, that's the other reason why it's I guess in a sense easier for European events to attract people because
sure.
geographically the distances are relatively small, but
Yeah.
also travel, at least for the past 20 years, has been very cheap in Europe. With cheap airlines and that kind of stuff, and that's actually it's a model that doesn't yet exist in North America with the same, at least not with the same price tag. It's still relatively more expensive to travel. So there's that barrier as well. I think
Sure.
that we have to.
Why wouldn't it work in North America? I sort of
That's a
don't
good question.
understand why LCCs don't work in as well. I
Yeah,
mean,
for
other than the distance. I
population
mean, obviously,
density.
a flight that's 100, 200 kilometers is much cheaper than a flight that's 500 kilometers or 1,000 kilometers away.
Well, we have Spirit Airlines in North America, but
But but you're not getting a flight at $20.
right, right.
In Europe, you have flights at
Japan
20,
at times,
30,
yeah.
$40.
Mhm.
In
And
Asia also, I mean, even countries like Japan and Taiwan, we've got flights that are relatively cheap.
Mhm.
Just going all over Asia.
Right.
but
Yeah, I
anyway,
did the
but
same
this
thing
is
in Colombia.
I mean, I've taken flights from Tokyo to like Kuala Lumpur. Have a direct flight that's only like 60, $70
Mm.
one
Yeah.
way, and that's quite a distance. It's still 7 hours, so
Right.
easily you could fly. That's like Montreal to I don't know, Los Angeles,
Yeah.
easily.
Right.
yeah, and
A flight from Montreal to Los Angeles is easily four or $500.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
one more at times.
Yeah.
So
So I sort of
yeah,
wonder why wouldn't it really work? It's probably not a distance thing. It's something else.
Mhm.
But anywho,
yeah.
but
But anyways, at least we have people like you who sort of overcome all the hurdles of
that's right.
traveling.
Yeah.
Any way they can. So
You
that's good.
you
There
do
are
any
ways
videos on that?
around.
Like tricks to travel on a budget.
Yeah.
Places that you've been
Well,
to. This is how I did it. Kind of thing.
yeah.
That's related to language learning, related to
Yeah.
culture, and
I've done a few videos on my channel about how I travel for cheap and
mm-hmm.
stuff.
Good for you.
Yeah, fortunately, there's not really any secrets that I just I just don't buy anything really expensive. I forego the luxury. I don't go to nice hotels. I use couch surfing instead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
Well,
and I
some of these
love
things
couch surfing.
you think it's just I mean it's an automatic for somebody who knows the ropes, but just things like this is the site that I use, or
Yeah, yeah,
that kind of information. I think if you curate that, there's definitely a need for that, and even things like I use this website for flights, or
hmm
even things like I think they also talk about buying one-way tickets instead of return tickets, or going beyond your destination. For example, you
right.
buy a one-way ticket, you want to go to Montreal, but it's like a ticket that goes from Wisconsin to Montreal to
Yeah,
Prince Edward Island, for example. But you just
sure,
throw away
sure.
the last portion. It's cheaper to
Mhm.
actually have your final destination as somewhere else
Yeah,
than
strange as that sounds.
yeah. So that kind of tricks and hacks,
hmm
could
And
be.
knowing when to buy your tickets
Ah,
and
there you go.
what times to travel and stuff.
There you
Yeah.
go. Sure, there's a lot of things that you think about, that you strategize. around it.
Yeah. A lot of times I buy tickets not based off of where I want to go, but just where I can find the cheapest ticket to. You know, I
Okay.
want to go
I've
somewhere.
always thought of that. Are there like, when you have like, oh, I got a week vacation, I got time off, but I don't have to go anywhere specific.
Right.
Are there like apps or websites that give you sort of a listing of places that you could potentially go and the prices?
Yeah, I'm to tell you the truth, I'm not entirely sure. A lot of times I'll just check around for different cities that I'm interested in going to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, do I want to go to Costa Rica this weekend, or can I
That'd be
go to?
fun if we go. Okay, my starting point is Los Angeles,
Yeah.
and I'd like a flight that is within 4 hours. Give me
Hmm.
all the options, bop,
Yeah.
and the prices. Then you can
Yeah,
go.
I bet
Okay,
you.
that
Now
would be.
that you mention it, I
I'm
bet you.
sure it exists.
I'm sure it exists somewhere. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I,
Yeah, that'd be
I
something to
thought
look into.
Skyscanner did that, but I wasn't able to figure that one out. But
Yeah.
that's sort of a need that I think would would be a good one for apps. People.
Sure. Yeah, that would probably be a very popular resource.
Because most people would say, okay, I want to go to Cuba. Give me the
Right.
best price for that. But
Hmm. Yeah, for someone who just wants to travel somewhere.
Oh, go somewhere new. Yeah, yeah. You travel with
So
somewhere.
you can put parameters, 3-hour flight, temperature above 25.
Yeah, exactly.
Price range and that kind of stuff. Anywho, if we bring it back to languages, so what? Do you have any big scheme of what you want to do? In the short,
Yeah,
long
in your
term.
channel.
Yeah.
How many languages you want to, be able to speak by
I'm just
what
gonna
age?
I'm just gonna keep learning languages, man.
Yeah, but,
um,
there's probably like a 10-year 10 language plan or like a 5-year 2 languages. By
yeah.
when I'm gonna start
Um,
this or you have
I
a list.
well, I always try to find a balance between learning lots of languages
Hmm.
and then learning languages well,
There you go.
which is why
Yes, the
I've
eternal
been
debate.
at this for 4 years or so, and I really only speak Spanish very well.
Hmm.
I'm, like I said, intermediate at French, and then comenzando level in Esperanto,
Hmm.
um, or beginner level. And that was just decision that I made. I don't want to start moving on to other languages until I'm really comfortable in the languages I already speak. Whereas, there are people out there that just want to learn tons of
and
languages,
and that's and that's fine, right?
yeah, I think that's totally
We all have
cool.
different objectives
Yeah,
in life, and that's totally fine. It just makes the definition of fluency and that kind of stuff difficult to measure.
right.
But I
Yeah,
think most, if at polyglot events, I think there's like an understanding that people, you know, speak languages to different levels, and when you say I speak 10 or I speak 20 languages, it obviously does not mean you speak 20 languages fluently, or
right.
unless
Yeah.
your name is Richard Simcott. But,
Yeah, exactly.
but for the most part, I've even had these super polyglots say, I've been avoiding language festivals or polyglot events because I was afraid people would try to test me on my languages and whatnot.
Mhm.
But then once they come, they realize that no, we don't do that. All
Yeah.
we care about is that you have an interest in languages, whether you speak 1 or 10 or 50. It
Sure.
really doesn't matter. Nobody's competing against each other in terms of the languages, and people very quickly realize that, and that's also one reason why we changed our name. We were originally called the North American Polyglot Symposium, and that word
Interesting.
polyglot apparently is very intimidating for those who,
Yeah, it scares people.
who's learning the second language for the first time. And we still, even with the name like LangFest, we still get people asking, how many languages do I need to speak to go to your event? And we're like, come on.
Yeah. Well, and even myself, I don't really feel comfortable using the term polyglot,
Mm-hmm.
because how many languages do you need, and how well do you need to speak those languages in order to call yourself a polyglot?
There's no accepted definition, really.
Presumptive, yeah.
When people ask
And
me,
yeah, it totally just depends on your definition.
Yeah.
Depends on your definition of
I always
fluent.
say how many size do you need to a shape to call it a polygon? And,
Right. Yeah.
And a triangle is a polygon, right?
Sure.
That's
So,
true.
so I start with 3, but there is sort of a unspoken agreement, I guess, that people say, it's 6, 7, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really
I've heard
depends.
5. I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
There's really, it's sort of like, there's no point
Yeah.
in arguing
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
All we
Yeah,
need
so-
is this passion, this interest
Sure.
in languages.
Perhaps that's the definition.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be a better definition than just sheer numbers.
Also, it depends on which languages you're learning, right?
Mhm.
Some people speak all European languages, or some people
Right.
speak all just Asian languages. If you're
Right.
within
Or
your
if you
learning
speak
family.
Swedish, Norwegian, and
Yeah, there
Danish.
you go. So
Very-
so it really, it's just, you can't compare really. You can't standardize it in any way to
Sure.
make it a fair discussion, I think.
Yeah. So once I get down my few core languages that I really want to get good at, then I'll probably start expanding out and trying to reach, B1 in 5 or 6 different languages or something like
Okay.
that.
Is there anything that you want to do with your channel? Do you see it as becoming a place where you share your language learning tips, or more where you share stories about, say, for instance, traveling to LangFest, or
Yeah.
how do you see it evolving?
Well, when I first started this channel, it was totally different from what it is now. I was teaching private lessons for Spanish and English, just basically tutoring. And I found myself saying the same things a lot of times. Like, one of the big things that I used was songs, because I love using songs as a way of learning languages. So I'd always recommend, all right, listen to this song, and then pay attention to the word here, and pay attention to how he used this phrase, and that was just one of my ways of motivating a lot of my students. And then, so finally I was just like, well, rather than repeating the same thing over and over, I'm going to make a video of it and, and then share it so they can all watch it. Well, so my first 10 or 15 videos were just me teaching Spanish and English. And then as it went on, I started talking more about, methods of learning languages, and then what I do personally, and my stories and my experiences, and things that I've tried that have failed, and things that I've tried that have succeeded, and what helped me the most, what helped me the least.
It really sounds like you're getting down really personal with your audience and making connections, and that's the authenticity, I think, that makes the channel popular.
Sure.
Yeah, and then people go to events like LangFest, and then they meet you, they have a chat with you. That's how you connect, with the people who watch and
Well, I could not believe
struggles or that kind of thing.
Yeah, when I was at LangFest this past summer, for the first time ever, actually before LangFest started, I was on my way to get there on the metro, and this guy walks up to me and he says, "Hello." I'm like, well, why is this strange guy talking to me? He recognized me from my YouTube channel.
There you go.
It was the first time I could not believe that someone recognized my face from my little YouTube channel. But he was also on his way to LangFest, so it made sense then. But kind of boosted my ego a little bit.
And it's only gonna grow.
Yeah, exactly. It's you start with one, and then like do, and
I mean, well, I found you.
Yeah, you're right.
So, are you planning on coming this year?
I like I said, I might be in Thailand. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
If I'm in the country, then I definitely will make it.
But I might recommend that even if you can't make it this year, then you can come next year. Because then you can do a double. Because if you're an Esperanto speaker, then you can go to World Esperanto Congress in Montreal and attend LangFest as well.
Yeah. Well, I actually, so I'm going to graduate get my undergrad this May, and then I'm going to apply at McGill for undergrad for a graduate school.
Oh, okay.
So if I get into that, then I'll definitely be there for sure.
Okay, well, you know,
Wow.
everything, then problem solved, you know?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
That would be great, yeah.
I mean, this year, when you came to LangFest, what were your expectations? Was it like what you had, anticipated? Did you meet people you wanted to meet?
Yeah, I was kind of blown away by the social aspect of it. Because I was expecting to go and sit and listen to seminars and stuff like that. But
Okay.
meeting all the different people and adding them on Facebook and
There you
kind of
go.
network,
That's our aim.
meeting with other social media people and stuff. That was a lot of fun, and building relationships with them, and meeting people that had been watching my channel. That was pretty cool.
And people that you follow,
Yeah,
on
exactly.
their channel, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you're able to meet some of your heroes. I don't know, Steve Kaufman or Richard well, not Richard Simcoe this year, but Benny. Benny was there this year.
Yeah, Benny,
Shannon.
Shannon.
Shannon, yep.
Yeah, a bunch of them. It was really cool. Oh,
You
the
know-
Moti Lieberman, who being a linguistics major, I had
Wow,
watched
okay.
his channel for a long time, and I was talking to him. I was like, my friends, my classmates and I binge watch your videos before every exam.
Oh, I'm sure he'd be happy to
He was
hear that.
familiar with one of my professors, so we talked a while about that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. For us, holding this in Montreal, the more we do it, the more we realize this is the best fit in terms of having a lingual, multicultural event. This is a really happening place for everything, around culture.
Sure.
So
Yeah, it is really.
So come join us. Come join us
Yeah.
in Montreal. Do your graduate studies. We'll be
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
happy to have
I
you
would love
around.
to. I would
Absolutely.
love to.
All right. So we are winding down. Our time is running down. Definitely we're very happy to see a good participant of ours. Hopefully see you again in Montreal at LangFest this year,
Yeah.
next year, or every year after that. But we wish you best of luck in your language journey, language adventure, wherever it takes you. If it goes to Thailand or anywhere else, and definitely keep us updated.
Yeah.
Post some of your material and your adventures on our Facebook page, or give us some news.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on the show.
All right, it was
Well,
fun.
you're welcome.
So next week again, same hour, same bus. There you go. There's my code switching for the day. main bus. We will have another guest. So again, next week Friday at noon, we will see you at the LangFest lunch. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.